You know, sugar and alcohol have a really interesting relationship. And I want to talk about this a little bit today because I had a great idea on how to treat sugar. And you know, you're probably all thinking I talk about sugar a lot, and you're right. And I'm going to keep talking about sugar a lot because if you can deal with your sugar issues, believe me, you are just wiping out one of the biggest antagonists to your overall health. If you can deal with that one issue, man, you have taken the big step to doing something about your health. And so I had this idea the other day that because sugar has become something like alcohol for a lot of people. You know, a lot of people just have drinks every day. They have a couple drinks, 2 to 3 drinks every single day. They wouldn't think anything of, you know, having 4 beers after work. It's just part of their habit. And they do the same thing with sugar. You know, they're always grabbing something sweet at work. In fact, drinking a lot of alcohol kind of is a prelude to eating a lot of sugar, and eating a lot of sugar is kind of a prelude to drinking a lot of alcohol because they're all carbohydrates and they're all sugar and they all get your blood sugar out of whack, and then you just kind of crave things and you're in this craving mode, right? And even though you might be craving something, one time you satisfy that with a drug, one time you satisfy it with sugar, one time it's a drink. It's just about satisfying cravings. So I had this idea that maybe you should start looking at sugar as you do alcohol. A lot of people have a very healthy relationship with alcohol. They drink it at parties. They have it on the weekend. They might have a couple drinks twice on the weekend. And what if you did that with sugar? What if you realized sugar really isn't a food? It's not something you have every day after dinner every night, like ice cream and cake and like the habit that a lot of people are into. What if you just dealt with it like a drink and realized that on Friday night, hey, you get to have a piece of cake after dinner? What about get to have ice cream on Sunday afternoon when you're watching football? Or maybe you have one of these treats on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the rest of the week you don't. Because it's a treat, it's a reward, it's the end of your week, it's the signal that you made it through another week and you're just happy and you're relaxing and kicking back, you know? If we can make that transition to thinking of it more as a treat, just like a lot of people do with alcohol. You know, a lot of people don't drink Monday through Friday, but on Saturday they like to have a glass of wine. Try and put your sugar into that category and see if that doesn't improve your health. And then if you're wondering why this makes a difference, how does your body handle sugar? How does it handle alcohol? Well, both of them create toxic substances. A little bit different. Alcohol is a toxin itself. Sugar creates more of a toxic condition through inflammation. But both of them damage a couple of basic issues of your health. One is your liver. It overburdens your liver. Sugar to where your liver just can't process things properly. Alcohol is a toxin, so again, it can't process things or make the amount of antioxidant enzyme reactions it needs to bind with carcinogens and carcinogenic substances and get it out of your body. So both of them mess up your liver function, but they do it in slightly different ways. But again, one of the other big issues is just how it affects your kidneys. That raising of your blood sugar, that amount of inflammation has to be dealt with by your kidneys. This is why there's so many dialysis centers cropping up all over America. It's an incredible business to get into, by the way. With the amount of diabetics in this country and the people that are insulin resistant and the amount of overconsumption of sugar and alcohol, people are having failing kidneys. It's almost an epidemic in this country. It's sad, but that's just the reality of it. In Chinese medicine, they treat this kind of very uniquely, and I've had experience with it, which was very enlightening to me when I got started as an herbalist. And that is that they strengthen what they call your kidney energy. And your kidney energy includes your brain, it includes your entire glandular system, and it also includes your pancreas. It's a gland, it's part of that whole process, right? And so I actually had a couple of clients who were on dialysis every 3 days. And I gave them a kidney tonic, which basically means it was a formula with about 6 or 7 different herbs that are really good for your kidneys. And by taking that, they were actually able to extend the time they needed to have dialysis by 3 weeks. They went from every 3 days to every 3 weeks. Now they're still on dialysis, but you know what? Someone who has a 3-week window can actually go on vacation. They can actually leave town and go visit relatives. They can actually go to the lake and have some fun and function almost normally till they get back to go on their treatment. With 3 days, it's pretty much, your life is pretty much at home, centered around getting to the dialysis center. This was a huge lesson for me, that by supporting a system in your body that is attacked by an illness or made weak by an illness and strengthening that, you could have an influence on the illness without actually treating it and without actually getting rid of it. Because they were still diabetic, they were still having sugar issues, but the main way this elevated sugar and inflammation damages your body is by damaging your kidneys. And so when you could support that, then that made all the difference in their health. You know, that made such an impression on me that I used those same types of herbs in almost all the formulas I make. I use them in Inner Peace, I use them in Tian Chi. And why is that? Because your kidney energy is your life force. That's the battery that runs everything. It includes your whole glandular system, it includes your adrenals, it includes your reproductive system. That's really on a primal basis who you are. That's the battery, that's the power that runs everything. And when you're continuously taking something in that stabilizes that and supports it, it has an effect on every single aspect of your health. And so this is part of Three Treasure Herbology. It's part of Life Force. It's a part of making sure that when you make a product that people take, that it has a long-term impact on their health and protects them and makes them feel better and more vital and alive.